All right, we in here. Hey.
Another one.
We went a long time because there's no need to talk politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to talk politics all the time. Everybody argue with this person. You argue with that person.
Yeah,
politics. Bunch of angry people arguing about nothing.
Right.
Stuff that, it's a lot of stuff that's, sometimes they're arguing just plain right and wrong. So why argue with somebody that's going to argue on the side of wrong?
Yeah. But then a lot of times it's a lot of, no, you are. No, you are.
You're stupid.
Yeah, right.
You get misinformation. What kind of news do you watch?
Exactly.
Same
old song and dance.
Instead of just thinking for yourselves. Like, hey, what do you think about what's happening? You watch all sides of the news and then try to come up with the truth somewhere in the middle.
Right.
So now it's election time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Democrats, I'm so happy that I'm a registered independent. I'm so happy that I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm so happy that I'm not a registered Republican. And I could just vote how I want to vote.
And
right?
why do you, and you feel that way because the Democratic Party is extremely toxic, isn't it?
There's nothing democratic about it.
Right.
You could probably pull up the clip. I'll show it to you on the break, right? I'll show it to you on the break. There's a clip of one of the people who work in the DNC and one of the donors to the Democratic Party basically saying that the people don't decide the nomination. The party decides the nomination. And those who contribute to the party and donate to the party get the nomination. Of something of that nature. I'm sure you can pull the clip up. You're a mastermind.
This was just said with a straight face on MSNBC.
The party decides its nominee. The public doesn't really decide the nominee. The public gets to vote for President of the United States, but people who are active in the party, who participate in the party, they decide the nominee.
But so that's what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that already tells you, like, that's already a mess. Mm-hmm. They have this thing called super delegates where these donors and these people who come in with these super PACs and things like that.
Yeah.
They actually have more say than the people. They have these super delegates, right?
Yeah.
They have these super delegates that override the people in these when it comes to these Democratic convention. If it's a contested convention, right? If Bernie Sanders goes in there with a plurality of delegates, and not all of the delegates, but the plurality of delegates, then it's a contested convention and they can take it from Bernie, which they will.
And that's what Elvis told me about, where it's like if it gets that close, then it no longer becomes about what the people want. It is about the delegates and who are deciding the delegates are in the party.
Right. And you know what's funny about that's such a crooked thing to have.
Yeah.
It's such a crooked thing to have. You know who doesn't have super delegates?
Republicans. Right.
They don't have this thing called their system is actually more democratic than the Democrats.
Right. Well,
the people choose. What do you mean? Well, the people choose, right?
Right.
The people. Donald Trump got all the votes. Therefore, he got the Republican nomination.
Facts.
That's how it happened. Bernie Sanders is over here killing it. They trying to take it from this man.
Facts.
The Republican, I'm saying that their system is more democratic than the Democrats. If they take this from Bernie Sanders, right? Which I'm
by the way, if they take it again,
right? Then this will be the end of the Democrat Party. It will destroy the party.
You think a lot of people are going to jump ship if that happens?
Oh, dude. Nationally, if you look at the national polls right now, Bernie Sanders is crushing it.
Right.
Bernie Sanders is crushing it if you look at it nationally. Joe Biden just won South Carolina today while we're talking. Mm-hmm. Right? And they were pushing him over. And another thing that really weirds me out is black people's alliance to Joe Biden. For what? What did Joe Biden do?
Is he getting a significant black vote?
61% in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And it's weird to me. I know Charlemagne the God is who's on the Breakfast Club. He said he's from South Carolina and he doesn't understand it.
So,
do they not have the internet in South Carolina?
Where is Joe Biden from?
He's from, I don't know, not South Carolina. Why don't you look?
So why is he polling so strongly?
He's from like Pennsylvania or something.
Was he doing like an incredible amount of rallies out there? Even so, I mean,
he's been campaigning in South Carolina. He's been banking on South Carolina the whole time.
Honestly, but even if you go to a rally and you hear Joe Biden talk, this is my thing about Joe Biden is that when I hear him talk, all I ever hear is, I was Obama's vice president. I was Obama's vice president. That's why you should vote for me.
Hey, man, can you play when he said, Corn Pop was a bad dude?
What?
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap.
We're going to inject all kind of things that Joe Biden said into this. We're going to have fun with this one.
Remember when he called what did he call that woman, asked him a legitimate question of like why he's not getting a significant number of votes?
He called her a dog-faced pony soldier.
So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
What?
He called her some type of dog-faced pony soldier.
And this just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Who is Corn Pop?
I don't know, some mythical black person he was talking about. And it's just wild to me that people fix their fingers to write in a pen and ink Joe Biden in there. It's beyond me.
I just don't see it.
Joe Biden doesn't get my vote.
Just watch him at the.
Because as an independent, we don't vote in the primaries, so we can speak objectively. I voted in the primaries for my local elections,
and that's all they allow me to do as well because I'm registered independent. But.
Yeah. Which I'm proud of, by the way.
Yeah.
You see this mess you guys are going through? You're going to vote for your man, right? Who the whole country wants, right? The national polls, you could even show the national polls on this episode. The national polls show Bernie Sanders leading across every demographic nationally. Right?
Right.
So watch the media try to tell you that Joe Biden is the front runner. Or how Pete Buttigieg has a chance. And how you better watch out for Mike Bloomberg.
Or how Elizabeth Warren did so well.
Right.
Yeah.
So they want a contested convention.
And even
because they don't want Bernie to be.
But even when they, like Elizabeth Warren, how like she did do well at attacking Mike Bloomberg, who spent over $500 million, like hundreds of millions of dollars to get into this race here.
Right.
Even when they do talk about how she, annihilated him, and that, albeit may be true, again, nothing is said about Bernie. Fox News covers more about Bernie than CNN.
Fox News gives Bernie Sanders the most accurate coverage of Bernie Sanders that you're gonna find. Fox News and The Hill.
Do you know how I know this? I've recently been starting to go to the gym, right? And I get on the treadmill and I run for as long as I can,
right?
And while I'm running, I'm listening to music, but they have the televisions up there
with the captions on it.
With the captions, and right next to each other are Fox News and CNN.
Yeah.
And I see Bernie way more on Fox News than I see him on CNN, which is mind-blowing.
Fox News tends to, See, the thing about Fox News is you might not like their angles,
Right.
but
And that's super accurate.
But they tend to always give you everything, right?
Yeah.
They try to talk about everything that's happening, even if they try to put a whack, weird, twisted, racist twist on it.
Accurate. Very accurate.
But they always they at least talk about what's happening.
Right, they do.
Bernie Sanders is obviously winning.
Yes.
Obviously winning. I've heard people on MSNBC argue that fact that he's not the front runner.
Yeah.
I've heard people say, "How could you say that?"
And what's really interesting to me too is the other two candidates that I actually thought had the most thoughtful solutions and most powerful messages, which would be Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep.
I really liked Andrew Yang as well.
Great candidates.
Great candidates. And, when Bernie wants to focus like all on healthcare and free education, which I love the free education thing. But Andrew Yang was talking about like, in order for people to eat and take care of themselves, they need to have money in their pockets. And so that angle I love, but again, he's not even in the race anymore.
No, he dropped out. It's the you know why Joe Biden and all of these other candidates don't have huge rallies with thousands of people like Bernie does?
Why?
Because they're not talking about their ideas.
That's crazy to me.
They're not talking about their ideas.
What do you want to hear then if not ideas?
Bernie's talking about his ideas. Andrew Yang was talking about his ideas. But he's just a newcomer, a new guy coming in the game. It takes a lot of money to run a campaign. But
True. But
the donations are a lot. But
it's just amazing to me that the people that sound the most logical and have amazing ideas, they don't want to cover.
So much money involved. I just watched these ladies that be yelling over each other on a show called The View. And they be talking about politics on that show, and
it's not like you just discovered The View.
the whole time, like the whole last 4 years they've been talking about how gross Trump is and how bad he is and how you say this to women and he does all this racist stuff. And then when it comes to Mike Bloomberg, they just be like, oh, it's okay, that stuff's in the past. And like they really like giving Mike Bloomberg like a hard pass. Whoopi Goldberg and this Joy Behar lady really giving Mike Bloomberg a hard pass. Like, no, that's their guy. Like they love him. I'm like, wow, like this is some twisted shit.
Yeah,
it's twisted to me. It's very cultish. None of these people are out for my best interest or yours. Mm-hmm. None of these people on these news stations, none of these politicians. The only politician that I haven't heard change a single word what they speak is Bernie Sanders.
Correct.
Go back, pull up tapes of Bernie Sanders in the 60s. He'll have gray hair and it'll still be poking up. He'll have the glasses or the 80s or whatever. And he'll still be saying the same stuff. He'll be talking about healthcare and education.
Yeah. Hilariously, any time period you pull up Bernie Sanders, like just look up the same time period of Larry David, they look exactly like each other.
I've seen I'm hearing the term radical been put on Bernie Sanders, and that sounds cute, but man, he's just saying.
Are his ideas really that radical?
Yeah, I mean, he wants people to have free healthcare. I mean, I'm not against people having free healthcare. But I'm not against my taxes going up either.
You're not. You're questioning the method of.
No,
which
I'm definitely against my taxes going up. Right.
For sure.
I'm definitely against that.
Right. I love how
I'm not against my life being. I don't want a politician to make my life harder.
Right.
Right. I don't want that. I would like if you can make my life better. That's cool.
Yeah, but have you heard? So I understand that. I really do. Everybody hates paying taxes. I don't care who
taxation is theft. Taxation is theft. All right.
See, for me, what really resonates with me is the education, because me going through the education system, they really run it like a maniacal, malicious business, because you're trying to get these young people to go through school to be who they want to be. And yes, there's a cost of seeking like guidance and expertise from professors to get to who you want to be.
Whatever.
But
they're putting them through a system to become obedient workers.
right. But the reality is that all of us end up in a hole that we're trying to get out of when we were just trying to get a job to not be in a hole anymore. It's a debt that we're all in. Paying off student loans is so ridiculous.
So that's what you say Bernie's running on, and that's, you know,
That's what really grasped me.
That's how you get a base, though. I'm not saying that's why I love Bernie Sanders or anything like that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when you have a message, when you can stay on topic, and he stayed on topic the whole time, while you hear all of these other politicians want to talk about Russia, you want to talk about the Ukraine, you want to talk about emails, or you want to talk about anything. People don't care about that stuff. I know I didn't. I know I didn't care.
Right. And meanwhile, you also have Mike Bloomberg trying to defend himself of what was the footage I found of him like talking about how like he doesn't care about the minority vote or whatever. What was the evidence that came up?
I don't know about that, but I don't know about that specific audio, but there's audio of him saying all kinds of things. There's audio of him defending stop and frisk in 2015.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25. We put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them.
And basically talking about stop and frisk, like, you know, black people were like, you know, piñatas, like, you know, throw them against the wall, see what comes out, you know?
Yeah.
Way wild. And you got Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg over here acting like it's no big deal.
That's a guy that's getting airtime.
To me, Mike Bloomberg would be the most dangerous president in the history of the United States. Not Donald Trump. Mike Bloomberg.
And why is that?
Because he's competent.
Right.
Because he's competent.
He has bad ideas and he's competent.
Yeah, he has horrible racist ideas.
And unlike Donald Trump, he does have terrible ideas, but he's not competent enough to really turn this country into, an Armageddon warfare or anything like that.
Like he wants to, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got Mike Bloomberg at the debate the other day talking about basically saying he bought the Senate or the Congress. Did you see that?
No.
Him slipping, talking about he bought the Congress. I'm gonna have to show you all of this stuff on the break. We'll be right back.
On the record, they talked about 40 Democrats. 21 of those were people that I spent $100 million to help elect. All of the new Democrats that came in and put Nancy Pelosi in charge and gave the Congress the ability to control this president, I got them.
Well, we back.
Yo, we're back.
Bloomberg acting up, right?
Dude.
He bought the Congress. He bought 20, 30 members of Congress.
I spent so much money on all these congressmen, got them all in office. At least 20 Democrats. I got them.
I got them. Come on now.
Dude, come on now, man.
And these are the people.
Nobody wants to show that clip.
That they want to deny the popular vote. This whole, these last 4 years, all we've been hearing was, well, Hillary won the popular vote. Hillary won the popular vote. Well, look, Bernie's winning the popular vote right now.
Right.
And you're trying to take it from him.
Dude,
right.
all over the country,
You're going to destroy your party because you don't like this guy. How do you think the Republicans felt? They didn't like Donald Trump. They thought he was going to destroy their party.
Oh, accurate. Yeah,
and
fair point.
And it's the same stuff. But they don't have super delegates and things like that to overturn him. They're not crooked like that. Mm-hmm. The Democrats obviously are.
Donald Trump is actually what the Republican people wanted.
Well, he was all they had left. He was beating everybody.
But he won because of votes from the people.
From the people, because he generated a record turnout of people who never voted before.
It just is what it is, man.
Just like Bernie Sanders is doing.
It just is what it is.
He's doing what Bernie Sanders is doing, and but the Democrats, the establishment, the billionaires, they don't like that, and they don't want it to happen. So it's not going to happen for you.
No. Right.
So
fucked up, man.
It is what it is, man. That's why I'm a registered independent. I can't tie myself to a political party like the Democrats or the Republicans.
Yeah.
It just don't feel right. I feel better, voting for what I want to vote for and not what I'm supposed to vote for or what I have to vote for.
Right.
Bernie Sanders is usually a registered independent unless he's running for president. That's why a lot of Democrats don't like him, because he's an independent.
Right.
But he has to run for president, so he's running as a Democrat. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But he's winning.
Yeah, he's winning
in delegates.
But
they're gonna take it from him, And you got all of these billionaires like Tom Steyer and
Who's voting for Tom Steyer?
Who's voting for Tom Steyer? I don't know. He's got right now in South Carolina today on February 29th of 2020. It's a leap year. Tom Steyer has 13% of the vote in South Carolina.
What?
In South Carolina.
That can't be true.
He's been campaigning hard, and he was dancing with Juvenile last night. Can you show that?
Oh, no.
Back that ass up. Can you show it?
That was painful to watch.
Well, he was doing it.
What's your definition of cringeworthy?
I don't know, man. But Tom Steyer was trying to get it in, and I appreciate that.
Why are people voting for Tom Steyer?
Why are people voting for Joe Biden?
Fair.
Why are people voting for Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar?
All fair.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
All fair in politics and war.
I can understand why people vote for Bernie Sanders. I can understand why people like him.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand it.
Like me.
If you're a big Bernie Sanders guy, you're a big Bernie Sanders guy. You know what I mean? So, and I understand why. This guy's always on message.
Yeah. Consistent,
always on message for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. I'm not a big Bernie Sanders guy, but
I know.
If Bernie Sanders, because I'm not allowed to vote in the primary because I'm an independent, but if Bernie Sanders can get the nomination, I'll vote for him in the general election.
I gotta save this tape.
I'm saying that now. I'm forever wavering, but I'll say that now.
Forever wavering.
But I won't vote for any other Democrat. You understand me?
I understand. Yes.
I will not vote for a Democrat. But yeah, so that was our comeback to politics. We will be revisiting the politics and things like that. We got time to go get some food. Stomachs are rumbling. We out of here. Peace.
Our ribs are touching.